Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. This is Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, live in our beautiful studios of the Henderson Financial Group. Yes, we're in our studios. And joining me live here is my sister-in-law, co-host, business partner, and the vice president of the Henderson Financial Group, Lynda V. Harris. Lynda, how you doing?
I am fantastic. How
Excellent.
you doing,
You're looking
Robert?
very colorful and
Thank you very, very much. My necklace is directly from Morocco. My beautiful niece Jasmine gave it to her auntie.
that is so beautiful.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Morocco was
had a good
beautiful. Oh yeah,
time.
it was really beautiful. But
Yeah.
yes, we got a great show lined up for you all
We
day.
do. I am ready. I don't even want to talk about election. I don't want to talk about politics.
You don't want.
No.
I just heard that Biden just took Georgia.
After the hand count, because they hand counting every single one by hand now.
Just a matter of time.
It is a matter of time.
Just a matter of time.
Boy, I tell you.
Are you excited?
I am very excited.
Is it going to change your life?
Probably not, but I feel relieved.
You do?
I feel like a load is off me. I feel just like I can breathe. I was just choking with all of this meanness and ugliness. Not to say it will stop overnight, but it really can affect you. Just leadership is very, very important.
Yes.
I mean, again, I don't wake up and think about it, but the whole vibe that's put out when you don't have good leadership.
I'm reading a lot of data, and the numbers are coming back that a good number of black men voted for Trump.
Right.
And they said basically, you ask some of them, they said because economically they prospered, they really prospered during the Trump administration. I find that amazing.
Yeah.
But a lot of black men voted for Trump because of that. If they felt that he opened up the doors, and I guess deregulation, not having a lot of industries regulated, helped them to make more money, and they really, really feel like that. But I wonder, and from people who have been underserved for a lot of the years, and it's no secret that there has been systemic racism. If it hasn't affected you, that doesn't mean it hadn't affect someone else.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, when they say if it doesn't affect them, then they don't believe it is for anyone else. That cannot be true. Okay, we said we're having trouble. Cultivirus up here. He didn't give me the mouse also.
Good morning, everyone. Can you see us? Are we still showing up live? Shoot us a quick text and let us know
Yeah,
if we're still on. But yeah, to your point, Robert, that's called a single issue voter. And if you're voting because of that one thing that only benefits you, I don't know what to say. That's very interesting.
Yes. Yes. And the reason why I started talking about that is because really there's always two things going on. And a lot of people do things strictly for money. A lot of people do things strictly for money. I don't know if we're still on Facebook Live or it says, sorry, we're having trouble with the video. I don't know if people can hear us. I don't know. I know Facebook can go out and it can come on, but I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll keep talking. But when I get the numbers and it says that a lot of black men voted because they said economically, for economic reasons. So the question comes in. Will you really, forget everything else? Is everything just about money? There's no values. There's no morals. There's no. Everything is just about the dollar. You sell your soul. Is that?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would be a single issue voter and that would be everything, because if I'm the only one doing well and no one else is that really progress? And it's, I can't feel that selfish if other people.
Yeah, how she said we're still on, T. So the reason why I say that, because that makes me think about, when black people were taken as slaves from Africa over to America. Those wasn't white people. Those are black people that were setting up, other black Africans setting up black Africans for profits to get money from the white slave masters. They were being rewarded. So in other words, they were giving up their black culture, their black people for the dollar.
Gotcha.
So what I'm saying is that there comes a time where, money shouldn't have you sell, you sell out your whole people or your soul or just the cause.
Yeah.
And I think that's you have some people that will do anything. They don't care. They will be a lobbyist. They will sing your song. You could be the devil, but if you pay them, they're gonna say you the best.
Wow.
And they know you the devil, basically.
There are people like that.
And they just say, "Hey man, I'm about that paper."
Getting money, yeah.
And I think that's pretty bad because that doesn't say love. It doesn't say togetherness. It doesn't say, I don't think the Creator wanted all us to do that. I think our goal is to love each other, share, community, and help each other and learn. I don't think that we should just be sellouts because we can be bought, so to speak. So I'm thinking that when you're going for someone, if you're doing anything just for the money, then I think that you're missing the big picture. I don't care what you're doing. Because, Lynda, there's always two things that are going on. I want to say it again. You know what I mean when I say there's always two things going on?
What do you mean?
'Cause you're looking at your phone so much.
I'm trying to share this beautiful show. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm sharing.
All right. Okay. Anyway, what I mean by there's always two things going on. Case in point, you have someone who's in a marriage,
Okay.
and they can't stand that sucker, but they're married.
Okay.
That means two things going on.
Okay.
They won't leave because of economic reasons. That's two things. You follow me? If you think about what I'm saying, there's always, in every situation, there's always two things going on. When it comes to, let's say, this whole thing about everyone in America should have health insurance, or it should be affordable health insurance. The reason why that's not just easy, like, duh, of course, is because there's always two things going on. The next thing is what we don't see, not only because of the moral part of it, is the money. Always there's two things going on. People always want to look at, okay, what it appears to be, but what about the money?
There's something behind the scenes.
Always. I don't care what situation it is. There's always two things going on, and you have got to have an eye and look at, okay, what's the moral of the story, or what's the second thing that's going on? And oftentimes most people miss that. They really do. They miss it. They don't really understand the big picture, because I say, most people in our lives, we're playing checkers when thinkers are playing chess. And chess always think not just the way the board appears, but what's going to happen on the next move.
Absolutely.
And most people don't do that. Most people are just, okay, this looks like this. No, it's a reason why they want you to go this way. And I think about the military. The military do a lot of diversions. You know what diversions, what I mean by that is?
Tell me what you mean by that.
Okay, a diversion means basically when they may send the troops to the left, but really they're really trying to get to the right, but they want to distract you to go to the left.
Okay.
That's a diversion, all right?
All
All right. Today, so I want to talk about business structure. What is the best business structure for you? Because a lot of people, I do believe that most people should have a side hustle, a side business. Reason why? Because there's two things going on. Not just to make extra money, but to save money, because when you have a business, you alleviate or you mitigate taxes on the money that you are making. So if you're working a 9 to 5, but you have a side hustle, the taxes that they're going to take out on your 9 to 5 will be reduced just because you have a side hustle and you have a business.
So
that's two things.
This is true. But can we say from the beginning that having a side business is not for everyone?
Oh, no, you never could just
Right.
paint a broad brush and say it's for everyone. No, you never could say that, because we all have our individual choices and freedom. So it can't just be everyone.
It's not for the person that's don't want to be organized. You're going to get the little letters from the IRS. You got to get your tax ID number. You have to get the business bank account. You have to take care of your back office.
Yes.
And if you just, and nothing wrong with it, but if you just the type that you work, you go home, you sit down, you don't want to be bothered, that's okay too.
No, a lot of people are like
Right?
that. Yeah, a lot of people are like that, but they can't wonder why they're not getting certain tax advantages.
This is true.
Because you always got to do something in order to get something.
Absolutely.
It's not just, okay, just give it to me. No, you always have to pay the price. You pay the price some form or some fashion.
Some form or some fashion. It's always something. Me owning the apartments.
Yes.
Finally, they're doing trying to make the next PPP round money available for landlords.
That's a good idea.
I mean, I don't want to be this witch that put the babies out. I know you lost your job. I know you really literally, you know, I got a taxi driver as one of my tenants. He's doing the best he can. But what about me? You know, a lot of, you know, this eviction moratorium is not the answer. Because my mortgage company don't want to hear about eviction moratorium.
So you've been pushed.
I'm being
against
pushed.
the wall.
I'm being choked, people. I'm being choked, and I'm going into savings and what have you. And there's a lot of small family-owned businesses, especially little apartments here, a 10-unit there, 20-unit there. And many of them may not recover, Robert.
That's true.
Because we got to know now that I got one tenant, Hanifa, if you listening to me, Hanifa Scott, I'm going to call you out. Hanifa.
Hanifa.
H-A-N-E-E-F-A.
You gonna call her out on Facebook?
I'm spelling it.
Oh my goodness.
You know you riding. Okay, I digress.
She not paying. She haven't been paying you. She riding this whole law out
and
there.
Getting Amazon packages delivered every day. Anyway, but that's not the solution. This moratorium. We have to do something for the small landlords. So to your point, I get it for those that say I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to earn. I don't want to own. It's work, and you have to do something. On the flip side, I've enjoyed great tax breaks.
Yes.
I will report this loss
yes.
on 2020 taxes.
Yes.
But to your point, you have to do something
but Lynda,
in order to get something.
Lynda, that's a trade-off. I mean, you're benefiting. You benefited for a while, and now we had this, COVID, and now you just
I really am.
I mean, you benefited.
Right.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, I mean, and now you're just having a fit because your tenants are not paying, but you still eating, and you got on your Morocco necklace and dress and everything. You got your hair done. I mean, come on. I mean, it's a trade-off. This too shall pass.
Thank you for talking me down, Robert.
Yes.
I was ready. Hanifa, I was coming for you, but you're right.
I mean, but her Nifa will get hers.
She will?
Yeah. The universe no one gets away. No one gets away. That when time comes, it's going to be time for her to move or pay up, and now she has to go and find another rental. And
I will definitely make sure there's an eviction on her record, because
right,
if you're trying, I get it,
right?
Because we all are going through this together, and we all need to chip in. But when you're just not trying,
so you don't have to worry about her. She will. The universe will get her. It will come.
Money.
Yeah, you will get your money. And like I said, you've enjoyed many years, and you're okay. I mean,
right.
you're okay. So my whole point, and even in that situation right there are always two things going on. There's always a trade-off. You follow me?
Okay.
Now, and that's in everything. I don't care what it is. If you have children, you love them. They just been born, but there's a trade-off. You're gonna have to get up at night. There's nothing that you can find that doesn't have a trade-off. There is bitter and sweet with everything. Everything. It's just if you can put up with that bitter.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Can you put up with that? Some people can't put up with that. What you're going through, it can be tough. But the rewards can be great. You have to weigh that out. So business structure, and the reason why I want to talk about business structure, because during this whole coronavirus time, there's over 800,000 small businesses that have been created. You believe that?
I believe it.
Over 800,000 people have said, okay, life gives me lemons. I want to make lemonade.
You're sitting at home and you're thinking now.
Right.
So yeah,
they're being creative. They're making cookies. They're making candy. They're making donuts.
Yeah.
They're doing all kind of things. Things for the baby. They're inventing things.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things, creativity that's going on. And this times like this make you think, help you to think.
The gig economy is on turbo boost.
Yes.
Friend of mine, one of my tenants, said that she has a friend that's making about $1,000 a day between Uber Eats and Uber rides and all the meal delivery. Now he work his butt off, sun up to sundown, And he has a system, but he's reinvented, started his little business, got other people doing it for him. So,
Yes.
yeah.
You know, and as a matter of fact, Uber and also Lyft in California, you know, they have became contractors, sole contractors now. They're not W-2 employees where they get health insurance and that sort of thing. Now, it appears that that is a bad thing because most people say, I want to go out and I want to work. I want to do Uber or Lyft, but I have my health insurance. I have my retirement plan, whatever, you know, because I'm an employee of the company.
Right.
That seems really good. But that doesn't, the trade-off is when you're out there driving your gas and you're a W-2 employee, you don't get to deduct all of the mileage, the gas. You don't get to. So that's the trade-off. What would you rather have, health insurance or some company benefits and lose the tax advantage? Because really, if they're going to pay, if as an employee, you're going to make $50,000 a year, especially in California, you're paying a lot of taxes.
Right.
Okay? Not only just federal, but state also. The trade-off is do away with the W-2 employee. Now you become a business person. You're your own personal contractor. You're self-employed.
And
now,
you can deduct your health insurance costs.
Yes.
You can deduct your gas.
Yes.
You can deduct your mileage.
you can deduct your lunch.
Your lunch.
It's a
your
lot
dry
of
cleaning.
Yes,
Yeah.
everything that you need. So that's the trade-off, you know. So there's some people bickering about it, but I tell you something, man. When you become that's a business. They have a business. When you become a sole contractor, there's a lot of benefits that awaits you. The problem is most people don't understand the benefits, or they don't know how to play the game of chess. They still playing checkers.
I think a lot of people are used to working, being told what time to come in, being told how much you're going to make.
Yes.
You could take your break.
Yes.
What 2%? I remember working for the city, and we were so excited that we were getting, our union fought for us and got us 2%.
2% more.
2% more.
For the year.
For the year.
Right.
And then another, that was good for 3 years, and then the union will go back in and fight for us. And so we, it was very predictable, but most people are used to that, and they're comfortable with that. And to your point, they don't understand the benefits.
No.
I think it's just too bothersome. But once you understand it,
well,
it can benefit you.
Yes, and a lot of people don't want to take the time to understand it because it's boring.
Yeah.
And the people who often explain it to them don't articulate it in a down to earth way. They use a lot of words, so it can be boring, But we're going to talk to you about the business structures. And the first one I want to start off, we're going to go from the low to the high, okay?
Gotcha.
Now, the first business structure, believe it or not, the most cost effective, the one that doesn't cost you anything mainly, is being a sole proprietor.
Okay.
Now, what is a sole proprietor?
Sole proprietor.
A sole proprietor is Mr. Willie that cut yards.
Okay.
Let's say you have a 9-to-5 job, and on the side hustle on the weekend, you want to go out and you want to have a lawn service. So you go get you a couple lawnmowers in case one break, right?
Right.
Now, when you do that, the cost of the lawnmower, believe it or not, is a deduction of your income taxes, because even though you're a sole proprietor, you are in business for yourself. That is good.
That's good.
Now, you don't have to incorporate.
Right. No paperwork.
No paperwork, none of that. You can say Mr. Willie Enterprises, and then you can actually have a fictitious name at your bank account. Bank, you can go and say, okay, my name is Willie Davis, but I also want to open up account. I'm doing a DBA. I'm doing a business account. I have a business account, and I want it to be named Willie Davis Lawn Service.
Okay.
You can actually open up one of those Willie Davis Lawn Service entitled it won't have an EIN number. The Social Security number, business number, will be your personal Social Security.
Gotcha.
So now, do you have to have all of this accounting stuff? No. You have to pay all of these quarterly fees? No. You don't have to do all that. That doesn't cost you a little, nothing, next to nothing. That is the cheapest form of starting your business. So now you're sole proprietor and you want to sell donuts, even wash cars. You don't have to have an LLC, okay?
So you tell the client to please write the check into Mr. Willie Lawn Service.
That's right.
And you go deposit it in that bank account under Mr. Willie.
And that's how you keep records.
And that's how you keep your records.
Now, in your regular job, 9 to 5, when you're working for the man or the woman, in your case, like the woman, I know you like that, right?
I love
You're
it.
working for the woman,
Right.
then you get in your paycheck. They're automatically taking out the taxes and, you know, your FICA and all that kind of stuff. So you're good there. But you got a weekend side hustle. And now, the good thing about any losses, like you got a computer, you went and bought a computer. And you didn't buy the computer in your personal name. You wrote the computer. You bought the computer in Willie Lawn Service name.
Gotcha.
That's going to be a deduction,
Okay.
especially if you don't have little kids to write off anymore. They changed the
Yeah,
law,
they changed the law.
so that's going to be a deduction. You follow me?
Okay.
And let's say you want to actually take pictures of your lawn, the lawns that you've done well. You go buy a camera.
Another
So
deduction.
Another deduction.
Okay.
Now, do you really have to use the camera just for taking pictures of the lawn service? No. You can use the camera any way you want to.
Picture of your grandbaby.
Pictures of your grandbaby, right? That's a tax deduction to buy a camera. So now you done bought a computer, tax deduction. So now when you get when you get ready to file your taxes, not only are you going to, remember at your job, they've already taken out the proper taxes that they think that you're supposed to have withheld. But they don't know that you have a side hustle. So when you get to go to Ms. Rudolph, the tax lady, okay, around the corner, you're going to tell her about you have a sole proprietor business.
Okay.
You're going to show her the bank account. You're going to also show her the receipts where you bought the lawnmowers, where you bought the laptop computers or desktop computers.
Okay.
You're also going to show her where you bought the camera. You follow me? Yes. And and if you go buy a truck, because now you need equipment, a truck, guess what? That's tax deductible. And that's all for being a sole proprietor.
Now, you can deduct all that, but you also going to have to claim the income from cutting all those yards in Sunset Lakes,
Yes.
right?
Yes. You're going to have to claim the income.
And you're going to have to take it through to your personal tax return.
Yes.
It's all under your Social Security number.
That's right. Right. Okay. So, but let's say if you made $20,000, but remember you can put food and lunch and gas. Let's say you can actually
Things you spend money on anyway.
anyway.
Yeah.
You can deduct that against that extra $20,000 and write that off.
Gotcha.
So it's a win-win having a sole proprietor.
So what's
What's the trade-off?
the trade-off?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. Why
The
wouldn't everybody have a sole proprietorship?
Okay, because because we live in a litigious society. What I mean by that, everybody's trying to sue everybody for
Yes,
something. You're trying to come up.
I submit to you, you haven't made it in life unless you've been sued once.
That's true.
You ain't did nothing.
That's right.
Unless you've been sued.
That's right. If you got a squeaky clean record, nobody
you
never sued you.
loser, you haven't
ain't-
done anything.
That's like that's like playing a football game and never been tackled.
Oh yeah, you haven't been in the game.
That's right.
Okay.
You haven't played a good team.
No, your uniform clean.
Right.
No dirt.
Right.
Okay.
I'm a football player, but I never
You
got
haven't been
hit.
bruised at
No,
all.
no.
So you haven't
that's
been
like,
sued.
That's like being a
You haven't-
boxer. Like being boxing, never been hit.
No.
Nah.
No.
And
You
here
can-
come, they said, boy, wait till Gulas, Mr. Gulas,
Right.
he gonna knock him out. He can't take a hit. You are something when you can take a hit,
Take a
man.
hit.
When you done been attacked.
Come back.
Oh, man. When you've been attacked and you still standing strong, you doing something.
When your tenant slip on the step and sue
when
you,
it-
and you come back strong.
I remember,
Okay, anyway.
I had a tenant that just got let her in, and she moved in like 5 other people, and the girlfriend, everybody moved in, and they found out I owned the property. She gonna say she slipped and fell, and now she want to sue. Oh, Mr. Henderson.
I had one with a little girl, hot little daughter, went in and had relations with the maintenance man in my utility.
I
room.
remember that.
Remember that? And then they sued me. And
Right.
because they said that the lady was collecting my rent and my employee, and therefore I had a pet. What?
Wow, I
You
remember
right.
that.
It is a litigious society.
Yes.
And so, I
Digress.
All right.
Okay, we have experience. Have a lot of experience.
Yes.
So we're not talking just textbooks. We're talking actuality. We've been through this, so that's why we're sharing it with you. Okay, so a sole proprietor. So the trade-off is the liability. Okay, let me give you an example.
Okay, Mr. Willie.
Let's say
Lawn.
Mr. Willie Lawn Service.
Right.
He's out there and he's cutting yards, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden he hit a rock, and that rock jumps out, spills out from the lawn, the lawnmower, and hit a parked car window and break the window.
Gotcha.
Now all of a sudden they come out and they sue Mr. Willie. Now when they sue him, they're going to find out, they're going to get a litigious lawyer, because now lawyers so broke. Oh my God. So many people's lawyers so broke, a mosquito bite you. Oh man. They're taking any cases now.
Any cases.
Any cases. They're taking any cases now.
You know how many robocalls I got? Have you had any leaks from the rain recently? Give us a call. You know, the public adjusters, everybody,
They're taking cases
it's
now.
Hard, yeah.
If the mosquito bit you in Mr. Henderson's office and it itch, Mrs. Henderson got money, I mean, the mosquito bite you?
Call Cohen.
We'll take the case.
We'll take the case.
He ain't going to want to deal with no lawsuit, so we'll make him settle.
Right.
We'll tell him we're going to drag this out.
$10,000.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that something? So we live in a litigious society, which means
he broke the people window.
He broke the people window. The people that went in got the lawyer. The lawyer done served Mr. Willie a letter. Mr. Willie going, oh, Lord. And now they talking about they want to sue him for damages. Matter of fact, not only to replace the window, but now the man say he missed 2 days out of work trying to get the window fixed.
I had to get a rental car.
He had to get a rental car.
And the pain and
so now they suing.
Anguish.
Oh, man, they suing Mr. Willie for all that. That's when you have a sole proprietor, you open up for those lawsuits because you don't have any protection.
Okay.
That brings us to the next business structure that you can get into.
Right, so I'm going to cross that out. No protection.
That's right. That's the sole proprietor, no protection.
No protection.
All right. Well, he could get a liability insurance, $1 million liability insurance. He could get that.
He can get that.
Yeah, under Mr. Willie Lawn Service, $1 million. $1 million liability would cost him probably about $300 a year, and cover $1 million in terms of somebody trying to sue him.
You hear that, Mr. Willie? So
hear that,
all
Mr.
is
Willie?
not lost.
No.
Okay.
But you have to come to people like us who have experience in do it.
So don't just get out there and say, I want $1 million. Yeah, okay.
Okay. And we'll tell you who to go to get that.
Yes.
Who to get that liability insurance too. All right. So the next structure is from a sole proprietor is an LLC.
All right, let's see.
Now,
limited liability corporation.
Yeah, LLC stands for Limited Liability Corporation.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Willie could get it could be Mr. Willie Lawn Service LLC.
Okay, because he said, I'm not going to let this happen again.
Right.
I'm going to go get an LLC.
Right. Now he get LLC, then he got to file a paperwork. He's got to come up with a name that no one else has. And how you come up with that name, all you got to do, especially, if you're in Florida, you go to sunbiz.org and you put in the name that you think that you want to come in. Mr. Willie Lawn Service, he can just put that in. If one come up, he'll be surprised.
Right.
500 Mr. Willie Lawn Services come up.
You have to change it slightly to Slick Willie Lawn
Slick
Service.
Willie.
Right. Nobody got that. So now he can Slick Willie Lawn Service.
Oh, no, not Slick Willie. First Willie.
Okay.
First Willie.
First Willie.
Okay. Not the second Willie, but first Willie, Mr. Lawn Service. Nobody probably don't have that
Willie.
one.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we have that one. Okay. Now he can apply, but he has to pay money. He has to pay money to incorporate, to get that LLC.
Absolutely.
And he has to pay the state every year to keep that name. And he has to have a corporate kit, and he has to file annual documents, basically saying exactly has anything changed with his LLC. Now, what is an LLC? An LLC, a limited liability corporation, so it limits the liability. In this case, with Mr. Willie, the lawnmower hit someone else window. They couldn't have sued Mr. Willie himself personally. They had to sue the company.
The LLC.
The LLC.
Gotcha.
Now, if the LLC has money in the bank account, they could go after that, the attorneys. But oftentimes, believe it or not, when you have an LLC, a lot of attorneys, especially the ones that just take any case, they don't like to deal with that because that could be a lot of hurdles to jump.
Now, that LLC has its own EIN or social security number. You go in, and so that puts up a shield. A
protection shield.
Protection shield.
Because it's not Mr. Willie's personal social security number like a sole proprietor would be. That LLC has its own social security number, EIN number.
And so you can go after that, and good luck, because I just drained the account, or it's, money in, money out. And so you go after my LLC.
That's right.
Okay.
All right. So that's what an LLC. So I want you all to look at an LLC because a lot of people say, they want to go into business and they hit a buzzword LLC.
Right.
An LLC really doesn't really help you tax wise because LLCs don't pay taxes. If you have an LLC, again, any of the income and the losses pass through the LLC, just like a sole proprietor, right to Mr. Willie. So it's the same. Even though it has its own LLC tax ID, it still doesn't pay taxes at the end of the year.
So an LLC, what type of business? Real estate? It's usually people put their building in LLCs.
Yes.
Because, it's going to pass through. They don't pay the taxes. But as far as Mr. Willie Lawn Service, that's a service.
Yes.
Would an LLC best serve that as opposed to a piece of property?
Well, the LLC, and I want you to think, hey, Isaac, can you hand me that mouse? The LLC, the LLC is good. I want you to think of LLC like a umbrella. I want you to think about like it's a force field. You know what I mean? Like it's just for protection. Okay. You can have this umbrella protection. That's what an LLC. A lot of people just say, I want an LLC, not really understanding. When you get an LLC, like I said, it doesn't lower your taxes. It's just for lawsuit protection mainly.
Gotcha.
And that's why, if Mr. Willie makes $20,000 a year in that LLC, unless he has some deductions, like he bought the computer, if he bought some lawn equipment, if he bought a truck to offset, because he can write off his lunches, he can, his dinner meetings that he's going to have with his clients, he can deduct, half of that. If he take a business trip and go to cut someone's yard, he can say he's going to Orlando because he want to go to Disney World.
Convention of yard service people.
That's a tax deduction.
Yeah.
Or even if he says he wants to go and visit his daughter in Chicago and cut her yard. Yes. He has a lawn service. He's going to visit his daughter.
He can't go cut yards in Chicago.
He can cut yards anywhere. Now when he go and cut that yard in Chicago, he going to cut a yard there. The plane, the airline ticket is deductible. The hotel is deductible. The rental car is deductible.
And he had to take somebody to dinner.
And he took somebody to dinner. And he went to visit his daughter and grandkids in Chicago. Or
secondary. First of all, he was conducting business.
Yes.
He had to cut that yard.
That's
we
right.
Didn't want to promote no tax.
That's
problem.
right. But they paid him. Yeah, they paid him.
Okay.
Even though it was $50.
Right.
His expense for going there. Now he might have been a fool, as IRS saying that you all this expense for $50, but he's not that smart. Let's just say. But that has nothing to do with the law.
Absolutely.
Okay. He went to visit and he cut their yard.
Cut that yard. Okay.
That's in the tax code, y'all. Y'all see, y'all don't know this stuff. That's in the tax code. Y'all playing checkers. This is a chess game, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, right? Okay, so now we talked about a sole proprietor, and now we're talking about the LLC. So LLC, we know is just protection.
Okay.
What's above the LLC?
All right, so LLC.
Real estate, I like that.
Okay.
I always like if you have real estate to have an LLC. Why? So they won't personally come and sue you and get your household income. You follow me? Matter of fact, let's say hello to some of these people.
Hey, Devaney.
Why don't we start from the top, Miss Harris? So we won't skip somebody. First one up, Denise Ward.
Joanne Jackson, how are you? Miss Witherspoon, Dorothy Davis, George Henderson, Aaron Harris, how you doing? Miss Redhead always on top of it. Joe Witherspoon says, good morning, Robert and Lynda. We are ready no matter what we go through, ready to hear your inspiration today. Thank you so much. DeLawrence Moore, hey there. Joe Witherspoon again. Patrick Harris, how you doing? Miss Ward, Joseph, how are you? Who's that? Kim Mills, you're going so fast. Curtis Kegler, good old, hey Curtis. Brenda Brown, how you doing? Dorothy Davis. Diana George, hey Diana. Kaylin, how are you? Pamela Sylvain, great client. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you very much.
And make sure you all share. Share this, okay? Share this.
Listen, LLC, all of our buildings we have in separate LLCs. Tell the people why.
Okay, the reason why we have all of our real estate, that we have a lot of real estate in separate LLCs, because you don't want to have one LLC and have 10 pieces of property. Because if you have a litigious, overzealous attorney that you hire, then that gets hired, someone's trying to sue you, then they want to say, oh my God, they have millions of dollars in this real estate portfolio, and it's under one LLC. Okay,
all of it's exposed.
All of it exposed.
There's no shield
right
between them.
So we create different LLCs for each of those properties, so it won't be all into one. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So that's what an LLC is. I'm gonna let you guys know, when you just because you form an LLC, that does not mitigate the taxes. An LLC, and I want you just to get this in your head, and the reason why I'm saying it like this, I want you to think about an umbrella or some sort of force field. It's protecting so they won't get at you. Gotcha. You know, that's what an LLC is. It'll be like a football player having on a helmet and the football shoulder pads and everything. That's what an LLC is. So, you know, you won't personally get hit so hard. It won't hurt you. You follow me?
Okay.
So think about an LLC. That's all. And as far as income taxes, has nothing to do with nothing. All right? Only for lawsuit protection. So you want to go ahead and you want to start, you're saying, why am I paying so much taxes? Because remember, it does not negate, it doesn't mitigate tax and an amount that you're going to pay in taxes, only for lawsuit protection. Now, what will help you in terms of taxes? The next business structure.
Okay.
S corp.
S corp. Okay.
Okay. It's a subchapter S corp. It's in the tax code, but we just call it short for S corp. All right. But it's called a subchapter S corp. Now, I want you all to think of a subchapter S corp like a minor league. It's not really major league. It's a minor league, and it has restrictions.
Minor league S corp. Okay.
I'm gonna give you some metaphors just so y'all can get some pictures.
Okay.
When you first want to some people, when they first learning to ride a bicycle, they get training wheels, right?
Right.
Training wheels is the S corp. Without the training wheels, that's a C corp.
Okay. Okay. Now you're gonna have to.
Okay, you got that?
Tie that in.
All right. Okay.
Minor league.
Okay. I'm gonna throw out some metaphors just so some people don't learn with words; they learn with pictures. All right. Okay. So training wheels will be an S.
Okay.
If you got a bicycle and you got a training wheel, that's an S corp.
Okay.
If you got a bicycle without training wheel, that's a C corp.
Okay.
Now, if you are a parent, but you have some minor children, and your little minor children are disrupting the classroom in school,
okay,
they're going to call the C corp parent to come and take care and straighten out this her unruly S corp children.
Okay.
The S corp doesn't pay any taxes. Anything that happens to the S corp, all the income, whatever, it rolls to the parent. So S corps are minor league. They are like children. Okay. That's an S corp. S corp is like under 18 years old. They still juveniles.
Okay.
Most of them can't be tried in a court of law. They have to go to juvenile detention. Okay. That's S corp. An S corp, matter of fact, if you have an S corp and you want to get to borrow money and take your and have an IPO, and you got a great invention, you can't do it with an S corp, because S corp limit how many shareholders you can have, because it's like a minor league.
Gotcha.
An S corp would be like JV, not varsity. Y'all getting this? It's like lower. It's not all the way.
Okay.
An S corp would be like a not a senior, but a junior.
Okay. Okay.
You follow me?
Gotcha.
And seniors classes get more privilege than the junior classes, right? So an S corp is a junior corporation, so to speak. You know. Okay. And as a matter of fact, whatever money you make in the S corp, it passes down to you personally in income taxes.
Okay.
Case in point, let's just say you make $100,000 a year on the side hustle.
Mr. Willie's S corp.
Now he has an S corp.
Business is growing.
Yes.
He $100,000 now.
Right, because he's
structured now as an S corp.
Right, because he was a sole proprietor, and all that money that he was making was coming on to his personal 1040 tax return that he gets off his 9-to-5 job.
Right.
So it was causing him to pay more taxes.
Right, and no protection.
And no protection.
So
right.
He really grew up, and then he went to the LLC.
So we're going to create a LL. We're going to keep that LLC status.
Okay.
But we're going to have an LLC taxed as an S corp.
Gotcha.
Why would we want to have the LLC? Remember, we want that force field protection.
Gotcha.
We want to have that. But now, so now we got the protection from liability. Now we want to mitigate taxes. What do? We're going to create an S corp.
Gotcha.
Why is that? Because let's just say Mr. Willie Lawn Service, now he's making $100,000 a year on his side hustle.
Business is good.
Business is good.
Right. Got $100,000.
Now the $100,000 comes into the S corp.
Mm-hmm.
He would have to pay taxes on all of it unless he gives himself a salary.
Gotcha.
Let's say he gives himself a salary where he says that he's going to only make $40,000. That $60,000, he's got to come up with ways to create tax deduction. You got to buy a truck. You got to buy some computers. Maybe you want to hire someone, an assistant, because he's making $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do all of that. Okay, he's still going to go cut his daughter's yard in Chicago because he's going to travel. Matter of fact, he's going to have somebody living in Orlando. He might have somebody living in Hawaii that he cut their yard.
Okay.
He might have somebody living in New York because they want to go see New York plays.
Okay.
So he go cut their yard too.
Gotcha.
All right.
And
so now
all those expenses.
It's tax deductible.
Tax deductible through his S corp.
That's right.
Okay.
And now he can even set up a 401k through Mr. Willie S corp.
So part of that $100,000, he pays himself a salary.
Right. And then when he set up a retirement plan, that's a tax deduction to the company.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
So now he can give himself $26,000. And if he's over 50 years old, he can go all the way up to $56,000 of that $100,000. He can put that inside of a retirement plan for him. And guess what? There's no taxes.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. That's
okay, Mr. Willie, first lawn service. You doing well now. You grew up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Someone said, please give us your contact number. 305-825-1444, 305-825-1444. Hey, Terry Green.
Cousin
Jerome
Terry.
McMillan, how are you?
Jerome. You got Cal.
June says she's taking notes. Thank you so much. Cal, thank you very, very much. So Mr. Willie, he that's great. So now he can set himself up for retirement. He can write off.
Yes.
And the S corp income still goes to him.
That's right.
Okay.
Now the S corp doesn't pay taxes either. Believe it, even though you have a tax ID for the S corp, it doesn't pay taxes either. LLC doesn't pay taxes. Sole proprietors, they pay taxes. You pay the taxes.
Right.
But the entity doesn't pay taxes.
Right.
LLC entity doesn't pay taxes. All that comes to you. A S corp entity doesn't pay taxes. Whatever it makes or loses, it comes to you on your personal 1040 tax return.
So in case you're out there wondering, well, what's the benefit? Let me say this. You're going to drive your car anyway. You're going to buy a truck anyway. You're going to fly to see your daughter anyway. You're going to buy a camera anyway. How great is it to have it deductible?
That's fantastic.
As well.
We try to make all of our household expenses deductible.
Absolutely.
Our goal is, how can we make this deductible?
Right.
When you have a business, and let's say that you are actually aiding and helping your child because they're in college or even private school. If you put them on payroll in your company, now you pay them. You get a tax deduction off your personal income taxes through the business because it passed through to you, and you can help your child.
Chess.
That's a chess move. That ain't a checkers move. We'll tell you more about that. But you got to call the telephone number. What's our telephone number?
305-825-1444. 305-825-1444.
Terry, my cousin.
Cousin Terry, what's the minimum that you can make before you create the S corp?
Well, let's think about it. You can start when you start creating the S corp, you want to make more than what you have to pay in terms of the regulatory laws and the rules, because you got to have an accountant, because you got to pay quarterly taxes. Mm-hmm. So if you're making $1,000, you probably don't need to have an S corp. You can probably still get away with a sole proprietor and have a LLC or get a limited liability insurance coverage in case somebody won't, sue you. But if you start making money, especially if you have real estate, then you want to have that protection. But not only just the protection, you want to also have the tax protection. The tax protection comes in when you have enough money that you have to worry about paying taxes. Then you start the S corporation. All right.
Someone says, Mr. Willie and Miss Rudolph got something going on. Inquiring minds want to know. You've been saying Miss Rudolph for 15 years. Someone says, Night Young, what determines what structure you register first? How do you know what structure? And that's why we're going through all of this.
Right. We went from
it doesn't, one size doesn't fit all.
No,
right?
It doesn't. And I tell you one thing, once you start making money, if you only have one structure, you're not playing right. You're playing checkers. You're not playing chess. Yeah. Like we have more than we have LLCs, but we have S corps and we have C corps. We use them all because it's like having your closet. Your closet, I'm pretty sure Lynda just don't have all these. You don't have all this in you got one day you came here with a feather outfit.
Feathers.
Leather, shoulder rhinestone, whatever. So so my point is, when you start making money, if you really want to use a tax code and mitigate the tax like the rich do, you have an S corp, an LLC, a partnership, a C corp, but you have to know. So you have to call us and we'll show you how to set up your chessboard and how to make the moves. But you need someone like us who I'm a certified tax coach. And then what I use Larissa a whole lot in Atlanta because she's the top certified tax coach. I'm a certified financial planner, so we do the total financial planning, but we always want to look at where you are tax-wise because I'm going to tell you something. You can make all the money you want, but it's what you keep that counts.
Amen.
So you gotta pay attention to what's going out, okay? Now, who, Diana George?
Diana George, what if you have a standard LLC? Can you change that so that you can have the LLC but have it taxed as an S corp?
Fantastic question. Yes, you can. And that's why we're here to serve. That's why we talk, because we know so many of you all don't know this. And guess what? The person who does your taxes, they're just trying to clock dollars, man. Next. It's tax season. They're trying to make money. They're not doing strategy. Most accountants don't do strategy. And when I ask them why, and they say, Robert, we don't have time for that. We just have to put the numbers in and they pay us. We're not strategists. We're not playing chess. We're playing checkers. So you have to come to a financial planning office like ours that look at the whole totality of what's going on. I mean, that's the real world. Yeah. And you can't blame anybody because you don't know. You got to ask. And I always say, like the good Lord says, the scripture says, you got to ask, you got to seek, and you got to knock, and the doors shall be open. That's why I want you all to share what we're talking about right now, because so many people don't know this. For this is how the world works. All right.
So, Parnell Victor, as a chess player, can you deduct great insurance strategies?
Oh, come on, man. You know that. He know the answer. He know the answer. That's my man Pete.
I like your style. Yes.
That's
something people are asking.
Yes, you can deduct tax. You can deduct insurance premiums as a tax. I'm telling you, them people made the tax code. The people in Congress, they playing chess, man. They made that. we just playing checkers because it looks the same, but it ain't the same. I always tell you, it's two things happening. It appears to be this, but it's something else. Always and everything, okay? You got to be able to look behind the curtain and say, what's really happening, all right? Okay, so that's the S corp.
Gotcha.
Now we're getting into the granddaddy of everything. This is the granddaddy of everything. When Trump administration, when they passed that big tax deduction for corporations, they weren't really talking about S corps. They was really talking about C corps. A C, subchapter C corp. That is what they really was talking about, because McDonald's, okay, that's a C corp. Amazon, C corp. All the big major companies are C corp. When you're making millions of dollars, you don't want to be an S corp because it comes on the individual, and those companies are not just owned by one person. They have shares out there, so it can't be just one person. They have shares out there, and all of them. When you buy companies in Amazon or Microsoft or Apple, you're a shareholder. So it's not just one owner. So that's why when you start making money, you graduate to the C corporation.
Gotcha.
The C corporation, oh my goodness, Y'all listen, y'all. They can't even imagine. You can't even imagine how many tax strategies that are available for a C corp. It is unbelievable. As a matter of fact, if the average person knew the way the U.S. tax code has such an advantage for C corporations, they will be picketing in the street saying that this is not fair. But they don't. But most people don't know. And if you don't know that you don't know, how you know to complain?
Well, it's fair if it's available to everybody. It's unfair.
I want you to say it again. I want you to say it again. It's fair if it's what?
If it's available to everybody, it's fair. You too can have a C corp. You can have a C corp. You can have a C corp. It's fair if I can have it. Now, what's not fair if Robert can have it is only for men and not for women. That's not fair.
Yeah, but you know, that's why I say two things are going on.
Okay.
You're right. It is fair and everybody can have it.
Right.
But they know everybody don't have the knowledge how to get it or what it does.
Seek and knock.
But most people are too busy watching Netflix and they watching the ball games, you know.
And I think that this whole thing called life is sometimes overwhelming to people, and to add one more thing to think about.
They know that too. They know that. They know that.
Yeah. Most people are not going to stretch themselves and learn all of this. I'm catching hell just in traffic. Just let me get out of traffic. You know what I mean?
Right. And daycare, it costs so much, you know? And you have to deal with your mind, body, and soul. You know, the powers that be, they know you don't have time for all of this stuff. But we like this stuff, man. We get off on this stuff, and it's like Easter egg hunting for us. We really like this stuff,
and
man.
Here's the thing: if you don't have time for it, pay a professional. You don't discount and say, "Well, I'm not paying. Why should I pay?" You know, for advice. It will pay for itself.
Yes.
Pay somebody. I don't know how to do a lot of things, but I pay an expert. So we are not expecting you to know. We know you got to take care of the baby and the husband and the job and get in traffic. But there's other people who specializes. You're a certified tax coach.
And a certified financial planner.
So seek out the knowledge.
And you know what came first? The certified financial planner. But you know why I had to get that certified tax coach?
Oh, you got a story. Oh, my goodness.
Goodness gracious. The more money I make, the CPA say, Rob, you gotta pay more taxes. I say, now I know just nature wise, this don't make sense.
Two things are happening.
Things are happening. Something you just
had to go find
tax
out.
lady, you know, tax lady, you only seeing one side. Tax lady, you just nearsighted. I want to look farsighted. You know, so I had to go find out, and I went to find out what are they doing legally, and I found out, and that's why I'm bringing this stuff to you. So let's talk about this C corp. C corp mean the C corp pays its own. A C corp is like me creating a blow up doll that's Robert.
Okay.
Or you creating a drone, or you creating a another Lynda.
Okay.
And that Lynda has its own social security number, tax ID number. And whatever that C corp makes, it does not spill over to you.
It's just another Lynda.
That's right. Unlike the LLC, unlike the sole proprietor, unlike the partnership, unlike the S corp, the C corp, whatever it makes, it's on its own. It's like your neighbor. You don't have any business. You don't know what they're private. That's their money. So when you can actually own a C corp, but it runs and it's by itself. You created another
human being.
Yes.
So it's got its own social,
right?
Its own person.
That's right.
It's not going to, their income not going to slither down to you.
That's right.
It stops right there.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And as a matter of fact, the C corp is where when you have corporations buying airplanes and private jets, you get a tax deduction for that, ladies and gentlemen. It's not they just spending money. They get a tax write-off because they make it. When you hear Oprah say, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, there's two things happening.
Okay.
It appears that she's so graceful and generous, but she has a C corp and she's making so much money, she has to get a tax deduction. She wants to mitigate some of them taxes. At the same time, she giving you a car, which you're gonna go tell everybody.
Great publicity.
And she gonna get more people watching her show. So she's making money. You follow me?
Yeah.
So she's getting a tax deduction. So that's why when you say when I say, listen, if you want to for a C corp, if I want to sponsor something, if I want to sponsor an event like Anheuser-Busch, when they say all the beer and all this, Burger King, those are all tax moves. It's two things going on. The tax move to reduce their taxes, but they also are attracting more customers. Promotional events are always to attract more. You spend money, but you're reducing the tax liability because a government says, listen, when you make money, you either have to pay it in salary.
Okay.
You either have to pay it in retirement benefits.
Okay.
To keep them off you.
Okay.
Or you have to buy more equipment.
Okay.
Or you have to give it to charity.
Okay.
Now, if you don't do those things, the money going to Uncle Sam.
Right.
So
Right.
corporations say, okay, we want to give it to charity. That's why they big charitable.
Absolutely.
So they can keep the money.
Absolutely.
They also want to give you big bonuses and give you retirement because that's going to reduce their taxable income.
Absolutely.
They get to keep more of their money. You follow me? And they go and buy jets. They own apartments. They own real estate. All of that is tax deduction to reduce the amount of taxes that they got to give to the IRS. That's why
you got to pay somebody.
you got to pay
either
somebody.
pay Uncle Sam.
Yes.
Or one of those items you just listed.
Yes.
Okay.
So oftentimes, like, when you really have it going on, you want to have a C corp, and you want to have an S corp.
Now, isn't it true with the C corp you can deduct more items?
Yes, you
You
can.
can write off a little more than an S corp or LLC.
And currently, out of all the structures,
Okay.
the C corp, the big granddaddy corp, pays the least taxes in
Oh, my
America.
goodness. Listen, a C corp's tax base or taxable, it's taxed at what, 20%?
20% max.
And there's ways you can even reduce that. So
Oh,
your
yeah.
net taxable liability, I think
3%.
Mitt Romney, the billionaire, had an effective tax rate of 9%.
Can you believe that?
9%.
You
The
make
hedge
you
fund
make $500 million and you're not paying 20% of taxes.
Because I gave
No,
it to
you're
my
paying-
daughter's charity. I
paying
gave
3%.
my son a big bonus. It's that's why you say they'll be rioting in the streets, huh?
Yeah, if normal people,
Yeah.
average people know,
No.
people that work 9 to 5 for the state or the county or city or whatever, if they knew, this whole tax game is what you keep. But they have most of us, they turn our head, Lynda. They have us, worrying about, racial stuff, I'm black, you white, and all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
They keep us tied up into a lot of foolishness and entertaining and stuff, and news. So it turns our head, we don't focus on the green. And that's what it's all about, really, the green. You know what I mean? So, this time is going so
Yes, it is.
fast, man. I really, really want to get more
So
into
let's
it.
recap. So Mr. Willie started off as the sole proprietor.
Yes.
The rock hit the window. He
Yes.
came after him.
Got an
So he
LLC.
go, I got to do something. So he went and got the Force Shield, the LLC,
Right.
to protect me. But the tax
You still paying taxes.
strategies, you still, because it passed
not the
down
great,
to you.
right.
Then he went to the minor league S Corp.
Right.
But still, that's not a protection. That's not a clone.
But
of
S
Willie.
Corp is pretty
S Corp
good.
is pretty good, And then he went to the grandmama of them all,
The C Corp,
the C Corp.
which you're going to pay less taxes.
You can write off more items.
And a lot of the benefits, like a lot of, like if you have an S Corp, let's say you have an S Corp and you also own a C Corp. The S Corp can actually pay money to the C Corp, and the C Corp can get your life insurance and also your health insurance. And the C Corp gets to deduct that off the taxes.
305-825-1444, 305-825-1444. Kim Wells says, information one more time, please. Give us a call. 305-825-1444. This was a good show.
Yes.
I think people learn from the comments.
Yes, and there's so much, boy, I tell you that
Yeah.
people don't know. Sometimes, man, every time I learn something, I say, oh my God, the people don't know this.
You always do say that.
I always
The
say
people
that.
don't know this.
I
You
say
got to
that.
tell the people.
We gotta tell the people.
You got to tell the people.
A lot of people not listening. So when you say why, don't everybody know this? Because a lot of people are not trying to be all they can be. They say that.
Or just pay an expert.
Yeah.
I'm pay somebody that knows.
But a lot of people don't want to pay.
A lot of people don't want to pay.
They don't want to pay.
They don't see the value.
They
in it.
they don't see the value, But I tell you something, man. You got to protect yours. I want you all to stay tuned because we have a fantastic show coming up for you. Tavares and Hyacinth. Hyacinth, my daughter, been here 18 years. She's a financial advisor. Tavares is a stockbroker. They're going to talk to you guys They got a great show. I'm not going to tell you what they're going to talk to you about, but you know you're going to love it. They're coming up at 9:15. And then at 10:30, James T. and myself, we have a 10:30 show to 11:30. And we're going to recap, and we always give it to you straight and no chaser. We're going to tell you about some great things. So keep it locked. As a matter of fact, my youngest daughter, Jasmine, is 25 years old, and my nephew, Charles, they're going to be starting the show. He's 24 years old, for the youth, and that's coming up next week.
I love it.
So I want you to
so
stay tuned.
proud of them.
Yes. They're working here. They went to college. They're 2 years out of college, and they're learning so much about interest and dividends and insurance, and they're going to help, and they're going to pass it on to a lot of the youth. So if you have young kids, teenagers, I want you all to tune into that show also. Listen, we got to go. Same time, same station. Give us a call. Peace. Much love.